guys, it is 5 p.m. and I have deleted absolutely everything that I have filmed today because I look angry, I sound angry because I am angry. I'm very pissed off in all of the footage that I filmed up until this point. And I don't ever want to words. I don't ever want to be one of those people that's like, I'm mad, but I'm not going to tell you why. Like, why bring it up at all? You know what I mean? But I was so angry today that, like, I couldn't hide it. I barely slept last night. We had to get up at 7 to take Dee to an appointment. And because of that, I 50% could not fall asleep because I'm one of those people that's like, when I know I have something to do the next day, I can't sleep because I'm scared to death I'm going to, like, oversleep. And then 50% was because I was having really bad hot flashes. And then I woke up. Mr. D and I left a little bit early, so we went and we got breakfast at McDonald's and we sat in the parking lot and we ate our breakfast, and then he had a good session, I assume, because he said he had fun. I don't know. I let him go back on his own. I don't want to breathe down his neck while he's in counseling. And then we left and we went to the dollar store to get some drinks for the day. And I swear to God, don't bring it up. You guys know where I am. I'm in Ohio. I want you to Google the most polluted river in the United States and just know with your whole head, heart, and ass, that is where my drinking water comes from. Okay, I'm starting to get mad because we're coming up on the point. So while we're in the dollar store, I'm like, hey, let's, we got this birthday money that my sister and my mom had given Mr. D for his birthday. It's just kind of been bouncing around in my purse for almost a week now. I was like, do you want to look at the toys, the art supplies, stuff like that while we're here? And Mr. D very casually tells me that he got $180 for his birthday over the weekend, and then another $5 from the Tooth Fairy. And I fly into a panic because I'm like, oh my God, he doesn't ever think anything bad's going to happen. He'll set something on the floor and he expects that if he goes back a week later, it's still going to be in the same spot because he never thinks anything bad's going to happen. I was like, oh my God, where is it? And he said, Daddy has it. Daddy's keeping it safe. The rage I felt boil up in me. Because I know that his dad is broke. He's broke. And growing up, I had a mother that every dime that was handed to me went to her. Birthdays, Christmas, whatever, any occasion that caused for people to give me money, it went straight into my mom's pocket. I never saw it again. If I brought it up, I got backhanded. So I'm like, okay, this man is so broke. He hasn't been able to pay child support. He took my son's money. That's where my traumatized brain goes. It's like how I don't like there to be flies or gnats in the room with me. I know that happens to everybody. But for me, it's like a trauma response thing from being raised by a hoarder. Stuff like flies and gnats makes my skin crawl because I grew up in a home with an abusive hoarder, so they were everywhere, So when I see like a fly or gnats in my room, it just makes me physically ill. So that's instantly where my mind went. I will let you guys know I did get his money. We'll skip the ins and outs, skip the rage, and I will tell you guys I got his money. I'll be damned. I'll tell you that much. I gotta stop because I'm getting mad. Anyways, this is a dress. This is a dress I'm wearing to dinner for Mr. D's birthday, even though it was 5 days ago. And my dad is he's a business person. Like, what do you call that? Like an adult. He's a business person. And Dee's birthday was on a Wednesday, and then over the weekend my dad was out of town. So and then yesterday we were gonna go over to his house and go swimming, and it just pissed down the rain all day. Thunder, lightning, the whole spiel. So Dad was just like, what if I pick you guys up and we go get dinner, and then I take him shopping and buy him some stuff, which is what we did for E's birthday last year. So I'm like, sounds great. So that's what I'm getting ready for. This dress is literally unlike anything that I own. But I feel like, because I love nature and I love mushrooms and I love plants and I love flowers and stuff like that, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get it. So I got it, and now I'm wearing it. And if I get a minute while I'm outside, while I'm outside, wait, I'll show you the full length thingy. I do think that my boots will look very cute with it though. Like when we get outside. I do. All right, so I'm a super long-winded person, so this will most likely just end up added on top of, yesterday's footage and posted as its own little weird vlog, if you could even call it that. If it, it's more like me ranting, getting angry and ranting. So I refuse to lose another day to being angry over what happened yesterday. I refuse to lose another day to it. I lost half my day to it yesterday. I'm not doing it again. It was resolved, and I don't want to lose any more of my life to lingering on it. But I did want to talk about, like, yesterday when I was hanging out with my dad. I love hanging out with my dad because he's always got tea and you can talk to him, and unlike a lot of people, the things that you say are not going to be used against you at a later date. So we were talking about it yesterday, and I have these moments where I'm like, how have I gotten myself? Like, have you ever looked back at people that you've been with? There is makeup all over my fingers because I just smudged around my eyebrows. Have you ever looking? Is that even a fucking word, you crazy bitch? But have you ever looked back at, like, people that you dated in the past and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? And then you realize that, while it's not true for everyone, most of the time, bad people don't advertise themselves as bad people. Abusers don't advertise themselves as abusers. And that's not true for everyone. There have been so many times in my life when I have looked at my friends and family and the relationships and the friendships that they have gotten into, and, how they have how the person that they're with, romantically or otherwise, how they treated people in the past. And you're like, what makes you think that you're going to be the exception to that rule? What makes you think that you're going to be different and special? That does happen. But more often than not, what happens is bad people don't advertise that they're bad people. In my last relationship, it took 2 years of being with that man for him to turn into what he turned into. It took me moving in with him for me to see who he really was. And then when I was with him, I didn't realize how bad things were. It took a while for me to have clarity about it. You know what I mean? It took a really, really long time for me to realize the extent of how badly he treated me. It took me a while to realize that the person that I was in a relationship with, looking at me and telling me that my children were most likely going to grow up and be incels because of their autism, wasn't normal. Wasn't normal. I say that out loud now, and I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It took me a long time to realize that, staying up with somebody until 8 a.m., 9 a.m., talking them down from a cocaine binge where they're on the other end of the house kicking and screaming and crying that they're going to unalive themselves is unacceptable behavior. Because when I tell you that I was desperate to not have to start all over again, I'm a serial monogamist. That's not bragging. That's just a fact. I get with somebody and I stay with somebody. And, yeah, I didn't want to start over again. I think about it now and I'm like, bitch, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I had already invested, years of my life into this man, and I didn't want to let go, and I didn't want to start over again. And I was willing to forgive and look past so many things that I'm like, what in the hell? And I think that is a lot of people. I think that is a lot of people. And it's like my dad and I were talking about yesterday. Bad people don't usually advertise themselves as bad people. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. And I have been in situations twice where, in a romantic relationship with someone that didn't advertise themselves as being a bad person. Or, if you want to look at it a different way, things didn't start out that way. And either, that's who they became, or that's just finally they got comfortable enough that the mask slipped. I don't know what it was. But I definitely know, with Dee's dad, when I was with him, he was responsible. And then when I left, he stopped being. And it's just one of those things that it's just like, anytime anybody says anything to me about, why did you have a child with somebody that behaves that way, is blatantly irresponsible, it's like, because he wasn't like that when I was with him. He wasn't like that when I was with him. Anyways, there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm trying to think about how to go about it as gently as possible. And that's not to insult anyone's intelligence or whatever. It's just that it is really easy for me to talk about these things, and for anybody to talk about these things and come off as condescending. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very easy to talk about these things and come off as, like, I don't know, unkind, condescending, backhanded, cold, snotty, whatever words you want to use. Mean is a good all-encompassing, is that the word for it. And the thing that I wanted to talk about, and I've wanted to talk about it for a while now, is that everything isn't an attack on you, and nothing is ever that deep. And I know you're probably looking at me and you're like, Shay, what are you talking about? I can promise you that somebody not liking something that is perhaps a personality feature of yours, a physical feature of yours, is not an attack on you. To me, there are things that are universally bad, they're universally wrong, they're universally offensive. Racism, sexism, bigotry at all, And then those are things that are okay to be offended by. And then there are things like somebody saying that they don't like their hair blonde, so they dye it brown or black. And say that somebody has blonde hair and they take that as a personal attack. As somebody saying that they personally don't like their hair blonde means that that person is looking at this person and thinking your blonde hair is stupid. I can promise you, if you live your life thinking that everything that comes out of somebody's mouth is a personal attack on you, you're going to be exhausted. You will. Nothing is ever, ever, ever that deep. I can promise you that. I'm trying to think of how to go about this, like, as gently as possible. Because I used to do this. I used to be really bad about it. And it is a behavior that I have learned to correct. But somebody saying that they don't like something or that they don't prefer something is not an attack on you. Like, I swear, if somebody's like, I don't like pizza, and pizza is your favorite thing in the world, it's not an attack on you. And I also wanted to talk about how nothing's ever that deep. It's not. So I think that I have touched on this, but I'm not sure how deep I have touched with it. I don't believe in the term basic bitch. And I also feel a little goofy saying I don't believe in something because obviously it's real. It's a term that's been used to manipulate and control women for, a long time. I don't agree with, I guess is the better word, basic bitch. Because I refuse to, one, pit women against each other for something so goofy as their clothing and the types of food and drinks that they enjoy and how they decorate their house. Two, I believe in autonomy over one's body and wallet and life. And if you are not hurting anybody, I don't care what you do with any of those things. And three, I refuse to buy into the misogynistic like place that it came from. And I think that it is heavy pick-me energy when it comes from women. I do. I pick me, choose me, love me. I'm not like other girls. I'm not like her. I don't drink iced coffee. I'm not like her. I don't do what do people do that makes people basic bitches? I refuse to acknowledge it. And one time I said this, that I think that women should be left alone for how they dress, for how, what kind of food they eat, what kind of drinks they drink, how they decorate their body and their home, and their taste in music. They should be left alone for these things. We deal with enough. We deal with enough criticism. We don't need to pick each other apart. Like, human life has more value to me than that. To me, kindness is given where kindness is received. But anyways, I had somebody one time go off on me about this statement that I believe in autonomy over one's body, one's wallet, one's life. Oh, so you're an anti-masker. Have you guys ever heard of the term chronically online? Because that's it. And I'm tired. And I'm tired of living my life with a disclaimer, which is a problem within, like, content creators. Absolutely everything that we do, we feel as if we have to have a disclaimer with it. I feel like every time that I'm seen drinking bottled water, I have to explain to people that, my drinking water comes from the most polluted river in the United States, because people pop in and out and they don't know your full lore. And it's just one of those things that it's just like, I don't know, I'm tired and I don't want to do it, because this goes back to what I said. There are things that are universally offensive, and there are things that people look to be offended by. And I'm tired of coming with a disclaimer for people who look for things to be offended by. You know what I mean? And that's all that there is to it. It's gets so bad with me where, like, one time I was talking about playing Stardew Valley, and how I got upset because I went down to the beach and there was this girl, and she told me if I spent more time in the sun, my hair would be lighter, and I didn't want my hair lighter. And then I was like, oh, Shay, people with light hair are going to get offended by that. It bogs you down a lot. There are things that are universally offensive, and there are things that people choose to be offended by. And as somebody that used to be like that, you're robbing yourself of happiness by choosing to live that way. You're robbing yourself of joy. And I am robbing myself of happiness and joy by living my life on eggshells, just trying to not offend people. And over things that are not even offensive. You know what I mean? Over things that are not even offensive. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export this and upload this and start vlogging for the day. So you guys will get another vlog tonight. But I will see you guys in a little bit. Boy, my neighbor's been watching me this entire time.